À quelques minutes de la fin des échauffements, dernière série de présentations, à la table de 3 bandes, représentant l'Asie, 3e au dernier championnat du monde, le Vietnamien Quoc Nguyen. À la table d'Américains, vainqueur de l'Open du Japon, le Philippin Johann Chua. Et enfin, à la table de Snooker, last but not least, le récent vainqueur du German Grand Master, l'anglais Kyren Wilson. Les matchs seront arbitrés par messieurs Lacombe au Carom, madame Bozilova au Snooker et madame Tab au Pool.
Welcome.
And it's Team Europe, for me the dream team in this event, against Team Asia. The dream team, why? Because Joshua Filler is playing 9-ball. He's the current reigning world champion. Kyren Wilson has won a couple of tournaments this season on the Pro Tour in snooker, among which the German Masters, the 6 Reds World Championship. And Frederic Caudron, not the reigning world champion, not the #1, that's Dick Jaspers from the Netherlands, but still Caudron, one of the icons of 3-cushion. And they're up against Team Asia. Johann Chua is playing 9-ball against Filler in only a race to 5.
La compétition reprend donc.
Xu, he's a 21-year-old pro from China who got to the semi-final of the Indian Open. And Quoc Nguyen from Vietnam playing against Caudron. Really short, I'll explain it a little more. There's a 30-second shot clock, 2 extensions in 3-cushion, playing a race to 30. A best of 5 between Wilson and C. And a best of 9 between Joshua Filler and Johann Chua. So Jasmine, in this event, if you were to play another discipline, what would it be?
Oh, it would definitely be snooker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I've tried Carom before, of course, and I think it's very interesting, but just haven't played it enough, to be honest. And I love snooker. I also love it for practice because now we've been playing Chinese 8-ball for a couple of years now, which is a snooker table in a pool size with pool balls, and that's of course a special discipline now. So you need to practice a little bit on a snooker table too sometimes.
Yeah. Just to make that clear, in China, organizations have been trying to, or have developed this hybrid game. It's a mix between pool and snooker.
This is going to be an interesting match here. It's only raised to 5, so every ball counts.
And for the pool fans, we're not going to be able to show the whole match. We're going to show glimpses. But it could be over real quick. Filler, one of the quickest players on the globe.
Joshua had a tough travel though. He just told me that they cancelled the flight yesterday. He arrived today in the morning. Had no practice time yesterday, so you know, there's different circumstances, I guess. But I mean, he's a pro, so.
Yeah, deal with it. Slide angle on the 2.
had a few problems with the speed, especially because it's very slippery. It's like the balls keep sliding out of the rail. So curious how he's going to handle that.
But like most events that you participate in, you'll have a sliding table?
To be honest, it's changing now. I think the manufacturers are getting better and better to create better type of cloths that don't react, first of all, too much to the temperature and to the air conditioning. And I think they're trying for the cloth not to be too slippery, not to slide too much. So, but I mean, you always, of course, new cloth, new balls, it's always going to slide a little bit.
Different.
And we all know that, so and it's the same for everybody.
You can try to simulate it. You probably simulate it in your academy.
Exactly.
For yourself, your brother, and other people.
That's what some people sometimes forget, that playing on a new table with new balls is different than playing on a used table with used balls. It just changes the angle sometimes, your position game. So you just need to be able to prepare on similar tables.
And deliver the cue a bit softer. Now Filler, as he does so often, makes this game look ridiculously easy.
You could tell there were like one or two positions where he was maybe a little out of line, but it doesn't matter to him. He has the skills to just finish it just like he always does. So
break and run by Filler. It's alternate break. And you need a bit of luck after the break to get a nice position on the one, if of course you make a ball on the break. Here, Xuxi. 19 on the board, first opening chance. This could be over quick as well, this match.
That was nice. Nice split. Having perfect position on the pink.
Yeah, the black is tied up, so from his next red, he'll need to get back to the pink.
Second drive. Agent.
Did you ever play that in Hanghao? They have that snooker tournament in January. It's on the 5th or the 6th.
No, I never played, unfortunately. But then again, I'm one of those, I don't know, people that need to practice a while until I really enter a competition.
Yeah, you can't allow yourself to just be in it for the fun of it, I guess.
I guess I'm just too ambitious for that. I mean, I could just enter and just play for fun, right? But I guess I'm not that type of person. I always need to feel prepared. Especially when it comes to the strategy in the game. I mean, just making balls, okay, that's one thing. But about the safety and the strategy, I guess that's very important.
I was very much looking forward to seeing Wilson in action. I do the commentary back home on Snooker and Eurosport. So I see him all the time, but I really, I want to pick his brain. Get a lot of information from him. One of the stars in the game. Works very hard.
Great.
And he works together with the same coach for years on end now. Barry Stark, his name.
Looks like it got away with it a little bit here.
Before the match we spoke a bit, I asked you about practice and training, what you're working on. Have you ever in your career, now that we're watching the snooker players, like redesigned or restructured your pre-shot routine?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I'm not saying I basically stick to the technique I've been playing all my life, but you change different things. I mean, of course, when you're in the childhood, you grow, so you have to adapt it anyway. But even now, I can tell that when I've had a busy year, I have to go back to the table, work on my technique, make sure everything is still in line. And all of a sudden you realize, okay, there's a problem here. Something has changed a little bit. Or, for example, you're looking more with your dominant eye all of a sudden, and that creates a different angle that you're looking at the ball. So you're never done with it. So I've always keep working on the pre-shot routine. And over the years, I have changed little things. Maybe, you know, people who don't know me wouldn't see it, but my trainer would definitely see it. So.
Of course, yeah.
So it's just little things, but sometimes they mean the world to you. It takes weeks and weeks for you to change that.
It's a precision game.
And I guess I feel like it's so incredibly important. I mean, I work with the youth national team in my academy, and I keep telling them, listen, the basics are fundamental. I mean, you need to keep working on them all the time. It's not you learn it once and then you're done. You need to keep working on it and making sure everything is still in line. It's just so incredibly important in my point of view.
Yeah, definitely. Now, with Wilson, Kyren Wilson, you can see very clearly what he does on every shot.
11.
Snooker, it's even more important. You have to be more precise.
I think he wanted to draw that back a little further.
Yeah, he also pocketed thick in the corner. Had it gone in the heart of the pocket, the cue ball would have been straighter on that red. Can still hold it for the pink.
It's a good shot. Can go on the pink now.
Do you watch this back home?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, especially when you're in Europe and you turn on Eurosport, I mean, you can watch snooker all the time.
It's always on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yesterday, if you might have missed it, Ronnie O'Sullivan won another title, and in the last frame he made his career century number 1000.
Wow. That's
and I mean,
picture perfect, isn't it?
In the last hour, it even looked like he was saving it for the last frame.
Well, and when you know him, he might have actually done it.
Yeah.
He could be the person to do that.
So 2 more open reds available after this. We'll have a 15-point lead after the black.
9.
He can split up now the other 2 reds.
Yeah, I don't think he will actually. Oh, he's looking at them. Well, if he hits the high ball of the 2. Oh, this is perfect.
This was definitely perfect.
Only by hitting real first he had a chance to come out there with possible position. So in November you had this presentation under the Eiffel Tower, right? This is when the campaign started. And then Sean Murphy was there, and I think Jeremy Bury from France. Yeah,
it was really special. I mean, when you tell people you've been giving a speech at the Eiffel Tower, that's definitely something unique. So that was an incredible experience, and I also think it's really great to be together with the Carom players, with the snooker players. I mean, at the end of the day, we are one sport, even though it's 3 disciplines, but. I guess it can only help, you know, working together and really supporting each other.
I think this format would be the way to go for the Olympics. I would even think it nice if they think of a format where men and women wouldn't be up against each other, but they may be on the same team.
I thought first it would be interesting to have like a pool team, a snooker team, and a carom team. But maybe mixed.
Yeah,
like
I would like that.
Maybe 2-2 or 3-1
It would make us
whatever.
The only discipline of all sports where men and women join forces.
Exactly. I think that would create a lot of interesting matches, and I think it would be interesting for the viewers as well.
Yeah. 28 the difference, 35 with the black. If he makes black and 1 red, then he'd have Xu playing for snookers. frame ball.
53.
I have to get you every time I see a snooker player in a polo shirt. It takes getting used to.
That is actually true. I actually also laughed at or had a talk with Nguyen Kim because she never wears a polo shirt either.
Oh, yeah.
When I saw her, I'm like, okay, I gotta take a picture of that.
So Wilson didn't get into the cue ball enough. Don't think the red goes to the side pocket. Well,
Yep.
guess again.
Nice, very nice.
And I think it's great Wilson is here. It's an important stage in the season for the snooker players.
65.
One of the outside favorites for the upcoming World Championship.
Oh, wow. I mean, when you stand at a snooker table looking at this ball that he just played, you pretty much think of, should I rather play a safety maybe?
Yeah, well,
go for that pot.
The frame is there, it's in the books.
Yeah.
But also the pockets are, you know, they look a bit generous. But still, yeah. So first frame in the books in a race to 3 opening score for Wilson. 1-0 against Sixu.
Yeah, that was impressive. That was quick.
7.
I don't think I even saw him practicing before the match. Nice little beauty from Caudron.
This is I guess my issue with Carom when I play it, that I think as I would play on a pool table.
Yeah.
And so there's just certain ways and combinations that I would never come up with. I mean, it's just, so that's why it's so much more difficult for me to play Carom than it is in snooker.
Yeah, it takes time.
It takes,
yeah,
absolutely.
You need to study the game and well, you can also not study the game, but then it's boring because you find yourself playing the same routes over and over.
Okay, this is going to be a 2-2 here.
Two-time All Japan champion. Specialty is 10 ball. Taking Carlo Biado's place in this event, who couldn't make it due to other responsibilities.
I remember one of my lessons in Carom, and I was playing it, and one of the trainers said, "Come on, go into the corner." And I'm like, I'm a pool player. I don't want to go into the corner because there is usually the pocket.
There's a pocket, yeah.
So that's how I learned it. I'm like, okay. And playing all that maximum English, that was very tough.
Yeah, that's you know, you want to get out of your comfort zone anytime you practice. Well, not anytime, but you know, there are times to automate skills and there are times to learn new things. You can only learn if you go outside of the box.
Exactly. But this is, I think, important to know for people, because some might think, well, you're a pool player, so you might as well play Carom, but it's not the case. You know, it is still a different discipline, and you really need to learn the game, and it is different. It's just some people in Austria, they always ask me, it's like, do you play snooker, do you play Carom? I'm like, yeah, I mean, for practice sometimes, but I'm not an expert in these disciplines.
No. But I do believe it would give you direct value for your 9-ball game or 10-ball game for your pool.
Absolutely.
I mean
all the patterns in Carom, I mean, they're incredible. If you know the patterns, the rails, that would definitely help in a pool game as well.
So Nguyen wants to miss it long, if he were to miss it on the way in.
1.
Look at the position. For a player like him, the next point almost impossible to miss, so he can focus a little bit more on the subsequent position. Manipulating the red ball. Little thick.
2.
He was trailing 9-2.
Have you played a little Carom?
Carom, yeah. Well, I just miscalled the previous shot, but no, a little bit.
Okay.
You know, on a good day, I'll make. No, I don't know what my average would be. No, and I've played a little. It's a big sport in the Netherlands. Like the Royal Dutch Billiards Federation has approximately 35,000 members.
Wow.
Of which 32,000 are Carom players.
That's impressive.
But actually more straight Carom on a small table than 3 cushion, but still it's big. Before, when I was a pro player, anytime that I wasn't feeling very motivated to practice pool, I'd play snooker or 3 cushion. Or actually, for pool players, 1 rail is a better practice game than 3 cushion. Little more unconventional, the technique of 3 cushion players. They aren't set up as mechanical as snooker or pool players. Doesn't want the red ball to land too deep. It's good when Caudron plays. He plays so fast that we can't go wrong calling the shots because he goes too quick for us to make a call.
Yeah, that was.
He's probably, presumably, the strongest all-around player over all disciplines. Kader, 1 reel. You have in the Netherlands.
Easy, so natural.
Yeah, machine gun. Like in the Netherlands and Belgium and France, they go through the ranks, so they start with different disciplines, and they'll grow and mature towards 3 cushion. Unlike, for example, in Korea, where they just start out playing 3 cushion.
Yeah, it's really big in South Korea. I mean, I've been there for a tournament once, and we were trying to find a place to practice, and we found so many Carom tables, it was unreal. It was real in every corner.
Probably no other country where any cue sport is as big, I think.
As big, exactly. I think that's the beauty in our sport. I mean, you have 3 categories, 3 disciplines, 1 sport, but in every country it's a little different. You have countries where snooker is huge, and then you have countries where Carom is huge, and then you have countries where pool is huge. I think that's great. We got a little bit for everybody.
Everyone involved. Needs to go around the table, 5 rails. Maybe even no, he doesn't play to go 7.
Nice.
7.
Oh man, he's so good.
And that's the thing with me. I would need like 5 minutes to think of a pattern to play.
Yeah,
it's just like, okay.
He's on autopilot.
Yeah.
Europe. 7.
Yeah, a little bit too thin, but there was a bit of worry for the double kiss. But a nice run there, extending his lead, 18-12. Wilson, in the meantime, 82 on the board. Now, what's important on the break in 9-ball, Jasmine?
Well, of course, it's really important now to make the corner ball, at least to make sure you stay on the table. The 1 ball is going to go to the side pocket, and you're going to make sure you place the cue ball in the center or towards the head string. It depends on how you break, really. But the important thing is that you try to have a shot afterwards. And I think he just made the corner ball here, there too, so that's very important. He played a little bit of a cut break. So he made sure the cue ball goes to the side, into the long rail, comes out again. When you rack like this, I prefer to stop the cue ball, not to play too much cut break. But that's everybody, you know, does it differently here a little bit.
So he needs to avoid the 2-ball. Or when it's so difficult to avoid the ball, better go into the ball. Don't know if it will pass the red 3-ball.
Looking at his face, I'm not sure he can pass it.
It's going to be tight, and the applause that you hear is for Kyren Wilson, who is on a fancy 107 run at the moment.
Oh, wow. That was a nice combination here.
Yeah.
2-3 combination. Ended up, I guess, almost perfect on the 2 again. Yeah. Can play the 2.
He's a very likable guy, Bob Witt. I don't know him well. I met him at the World Cup of Pool in London 2 years ago and here, and he's just, you know, sociable.
Even all the Philippine players, I mean, when you look at them and when you look at how they play, it's like they've been born with a cue stick, you know. It's so natural. It's so, they're all pretty much played the same way. It's like a national sport there, I guess. But I like the way they play it. It's a lot of feeling in the balls, a lot of you know, nice technique shots. It's.
And how's that, do you think? How does that come about? That they look the same, and that they look so natural?
Well, it's. I mean, I've been asking them actually, some players, some women Philippine players, and they said, well, they grow up to have the same, you know, under the basically same circumstances, starting in the same clubs with the same tables, so they have to kind of get a good technique because some tables are not in the best shape, so they have to be able to draw back even on a tough table. So. And to me, it looks a little bit sometimes they're having all the same trainer, and they told me they're not. But it's just when you look at the technique and stuff, it looks very similar. But I guess they grow up and they don't have the perfect tables and all that, but they deal with it. That makes them, I think, you know, able to play on everything.
More flexible
more
mentally.
Flexible, exactly. I guess they're very thankful when they play on new tables, you know.
But I think also a part of it is also that there's no instruction and there's no school of trainers. So whereas in snooker or in pool, you know, it's very methodical. So they learn to focus more on feel, I think.
Which is funny again, because in China, for example, they're very big on they get support from in schools. They actually, you know, go to school and then they have billiard sessions where they practice for hours and hours and hours. I remember talking to Quoc about it in Taipei, for example. They've been doing this. And in China, they have an academy now with Chinese 8-ball snooker and pool together. So they are very methodical. They have trainers. They need to have them. And, you know, they're always part of a national team. So that's very impressive what they do. And when you look at the results over the past couple of years, especially in the women's division, it shows that it works.
Yeah, method works. And Caudron is at work, although it doesn't look like breaking a sweat here. Cruise control.
Five.
interesting play here, because most players, you know, I thought he would take the other route, to track straight towards the corner.
8.
Boom.
6.
It's not easy in this event. It's a demonstration event, and you know you like to perform well, but I guess you before the match you don't feel the same jitters as you would for a regular tournament. So you still need to fire yourself up.
Yeah, I mean, once again, it's of course the same for everybody, but you're absolutely right. It's not this. It's not quite the same tension.
Yeah.
And for example, in women's division, we play race to 4, which is very short for 9-ball. So you know you got to get it going right away. It is different, definitely. But then again, we've known that for a while, so you need to prepare for that. Not take it, too easy or be too tense. We'll all have to find our preparation and way to deal with that.
5 rails. Ooh.
Beauty.
And swing it.
What a beauty.
Oh man, and it's very impressive, Caudron.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
he's sitting in the stands. He watched the first 2 rounds, taking it easy, having a chat. But right from the get-go in this match, he's performing. Don't know if he would call this his A game. Looks like it.
9. 2, 3.
Yeah, with check side.
Oh, passes and then comes.
Yeah, even hitting on the way in, it would have been good.
Euro 9.
But that's what I love about it too sometimes, that they have like a 2-option shot. It's like either hit it first or take another 2 rails and then hit it.
I think in general, in all cue sports, in all disciplines, a player looks for margin. Find the shot that gives you most margin. You're going to go around.
Asia 0.
Of course, we do that in pool when you going for a ball, but okay, in case, because it's a tough shot you miss, you might end up playing a safety or leaving the opponent a tough shot. Of course, we do that too all the time.
Yeah, and in kick shots, if you're playing a kick, which route gives you the most outs, the most chances to get lucky. Difficult cue ball.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, his touch, his touch is super.
Lovely.
Pour 2.
He certainly hit a gear in this opening round.
Pour le match.
Match point. Hard for him to miss the 3rd ball, sitting like this. 3 cushion gallery play by Frederic Caudron.
3.
Amazing match. In 5th gear, the Belgian secures the first point for Team Europe.
That's an incredible fast round in general. When you look at the results and stuff, all tables are playing pretty fast. That was definitely impressive.
I never forget being at the World Games in 2001 in Japan. Saiginer did an exhibition, and I was watching Ralph Souquet, American pool player, and James Watana, the Thai snooker player. I was just watching their faces when Saiginer was doing his thing, because at the time they hadn't seen Saiginer perform live on a 3 cushion table, and their jaws just dropped.
Yeah, I met him once too. I think it was actually in Korea once, and I was playing in a team with him a little bit. It was more of a promotion event, and that was awesome. I mean, we had so much fun, and he explained so many things, and then he had a special kind of trick shot exhibition on the Carom table, what he can do. It was incredible. And he's a pretty cool guy too. I mean, it's just the way he promoted himself and he talked about his sport and explained. That was great.
He's a showman, all right.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
The camera's nodding as well. We're on day 1 here in the Orangerie in Roissy in France, and it's the inaugural event of the World Team Trophy. But the tournament is kicking into gear nicely. This was originally engineered as a pitch to get into the 2024 Olympics. But then inadvertently the Olympic Committee made their decision. So there was a bit of a let-off. This will just be the start of a long-term campaign. Wilson draw back to the blue, and depending on his angle on the blue, he'll choose to go to the last red or open from here.
Or split it.
Now there is a red sticking out on the left that could go to the corner pocket.
Oh. I don't think he wanted to go there. But still might be able to have a shot, either the one to the side or to the corner pocket. Corner pocket, he decides.
Who knows?
Not easy.
No, I think in like a proper competition, I'm not sure. He played that shot. And he thumped it.
7. Yeah,
that's quality. Nice.
that was a perfect shot again.
Yeah, thanks to that split off of the blue, he now is a frame and match winning position.
I think he's gonna stick to the blue now, because I think and I'm not sure if he can play the pink after, maybe, or the black even.
Well, if he play the pink, it'll go back to its own spot, and then possibly that pink would interfere
with the red ones.
Yeah, with the reds.
But it looks like he is going for the pink now, so.
Now we're trying to accommodate all Q-Sport fans. So the 9-ball fans, American pool, they see 4-4 on the board between Filler and Chua, and they want to see the deciding rack. But at this table, Wilson is playing for the win, and in this event will need to shift back and forth. And luckily the director,
I'm not sure who's breaking here. Is it? Oh, Joshua's breaking. Okay.
So this is the deciding rack, hill they call it, or double hill.
Of course, in this case, you have the advantage when you broke the first one to break on even games.
And we see almost an exact copy of Chua's break that we saw before.
The problem is when you make the 1-ball, that of course you have no idea where the 2-ball lands. So it's pretty much
well, okay. So for the people that don't know 9-ball, the 1-ball is always the first ball of the diamond-shaped rack, and the 2-ball is racked randomly.
Exactly.
But would you not read where it's sitting in the rack? Do you have an idea where it will go?
I would definitely try to do that. That's for sure. But of course, my first goal would be to not pot the 1-ball, if it's possible. Of course, if it goes in by accident, you can't really control that. But it's just very difficult to really control the 2-ball when it stands in different parts of the rack. When it's just find that very difficult to know all the possible ways. So of course the first goal is always to make sure, because the 1-ball, since it's always in the first spot, it's easier to control, and you know the way of the 1-ball.
Now Filler was faced with a very tough 2-ball, and Chua can either play the 2 onto the 6 or play the Carom. So have the cue ball pocketing the 6.
Oh.
Filler has a view on the 2. I don't know if he sees enough of it. Chua hardly showing any emotion.
Yeah, Asian players don't usually show any emotions. You could obviously see the 2 balls, so now it looks like a pretty open table. No problems there. Gonna play a combination now. Ooh.
Yeah, that's the difficulty in pull. You're supposed to get out, and he'll probably still get out. But the slight slip good, of position of the cue ball,
that could have gotten a lot worse now. But it's always it's always the case when something looks very easy, you tend to not take too much time, and all of a sudden you maybe forget that certain things can happen.
Or then take too much time and start to overthink things.
That's why it's always good to stay in your routine, to stay in your time schedule, and not make it depend on how the table looks like, or is it easy, is it difficult. But once again, he still managed to get out here.
In general, Filler won't be suspect to overthink things. Very much an instinctive player. This is for a 2-0 lead in the match, for a victory in the match. Caudron having taken the first point in a blitz. Won't happen a lot for Filler. Not finish first. Michaela Tepp in the mix, congratulating Filler. So Sik-Soo and Kyren Wilson having to finish the match, with the event being in a round-robin format.
Unfortunately, we didn't see what happened there, because we left when Wilson was on the table.
That's going to happen. I think Caudron will produce, edit and publish all matches, like the individual matches. But in general, what we have seen from Kyren Wilson has been very good. So what's on the table? 30 points the difference. 27 on the table. Wilson would need 1 snooker and all the colors to win this frame.
And of course it would be good to play that right at the beginning when there are more balls on the table, so you have better chance. That looks good.
And even if he didn't get the snooker, he's forcing Sik-Soo to play a certain shot.
A curve fiddle, yeah, can do it.
So he'll have another good position for the next attempt.
Yeah, so in this case now he's definitely not going for making the ball. He's actually trying to play snooker here, so he can get those points back. I mean, he might, I'm not sure, it looks like he's going for this one now, though.
He can prepare a better position on the green.
Yeah.
Stand back in the green twice across.
Just draw back the cue ball.
Oh, nice.
Beauty.
Oh, no.
Oops. Yeah, that was... well, in a different situation you would be happy for that happening, not here. Because that was a great chance for a snooker.
Yeah, and he's lost another pawn on the table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not going to be enough, I think. Yeah, that was unfortunate. Would have been a really great
for
snooker.
the green to go in. Yeah, I see Chua has had a long travel. This is a good angle for Wilson to get that cue ball behind the 8.
And hit it behind the 8.
Yeah, sorry, behind the black ball. Listen.
It's going to hit it very thin on the left side.
Back and forth between tables.
That was too thick, unfortunately. He almost made it again. I like it that you still make that mistake too with the 8-ball and the black.
Well,
It's not
if
just
I'm doing
happening to
snooker
me.
commentary, I won't. But now, you know, this format is asking a lot
Yeah,
of the
that's true.
commentator. So Wilson not backing down. He wants to win this point. Could prove vital at the end of the competition come tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, it's really tough now to play a good snooker. Don't have much room on the table where you can hide it.
Ooh. Ooh, and now
The blue.
with the pink and the black so close together and the position of the blue. Not in this position, because this position is quite difficult to get a snooker. But in the remainder of the frame, good possibilities for the warrior Wilson. It's over.
Yep. He's just... That's 1 point now. He's taking a timeout.
Yeah, it takes the frame and takes the timeout.
Yeah, that was really... I mean, the snooker that he played on the green could have been, you know, could have been a very good snooker if he didn't make it. I mean, he was very close to the brown.
Oh, when it went in,
When
yeah.
he went in. He was very close to the brown, so would have been a good snooker. So is the timeout 5 minutes or is it 3 minutes?
I wasn't informed. I think 3 minutes is a little steep.
So it must be 5, just as usual.
Yeah, I wouldn't be like to be on the clock when going to the toilet. Yeah. I always used to find it very difficult to play in a round-robin format. You have the same?
Yeah, if I can choose, I'd rather play in a double knockout format than in a round-robin format. Because also when we played round-robin, it was always short races, and I don't like that in 9-ball, to be honest. I think race to 9 is great. Even race to 7 sometimes is a bit short. And in round-robin, we always played race to 7. So, and you know, there's what some people might not understand with round-robin is, at the end, you have, for example, out of a group, you have 3 advancing. And then sometimes you have different groups where a player advances with 2 victories because of the you know, tight matches. Yeah. And in another group, somebody wins 3 and doesn't maybe get through because of... And I don't think that's right. That's just my opinion on it. But I think it's more fair, the double knockout format.
It's less biased, yeah. I find it also difficult to play in round robin because I start to calculate.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not playing... Well, you should play to just win your match, but
all of a sudden
it's there. People tell me,
exactly.
listen...
All of a sudden it's in your head
if you lose 7-4, you're qualified. What kind of pep talk is that?
Exactly. Or it's like winning 7-6 is almost no win because it's you only got 7 scores and not...
Would it be enough?
Yeah, so... Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of it either.
Wilson at the table. It's a difficult route back for the cue ball, so he can attack the red or dump it to the short rail.
Wow.
Good cue ball. This was always the main objective, to get that cue ball back to balk.
Yeah, that was the 2-option shot that we talked before, making sure you get back with the cue ball. Just in case you miss.
But still, that only works if you miss it by a little bit.
Ooh. That was...
Not good?
That was not good, no. That was... He wanted to pass the whole red pack and just end up on the other side of the table. Now he's giving Wilson an open shot.
off of the pink, he can get to the right side of the table for one of the two reds above the black. Would be best to have a slight angle on the red above the black. Then he can kiss to the cue ball on the red to the right of the black. The angle's there. That would open up the black to both pockets. Bozilova refereed Kyren Wilson this season in the German Masters final. She was also refereeing the Mosconi Cup in London. You watched Mosconi Cup, right?
Yeah,
or
of
not?
course.
Yeah,
of course,
okay.
yeah.
How did you like the arena and the chanting and the 2,500 fans singing? It was
Yeah, it sounds incredible. Unfortunately, I've never been there. I've never watched it live. I wanted to go last year, and then all of a sudden I had a tournament, so I couldn't go. But that's still on my bucket list.
15.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine the noise out there.
16.
Now the most obvious red after the next one is the one
20.
left top side of the cue ball. And he can play shape for that red, just for that red, or go into the bunch and trying to give himself a guaranteed position on the red. But I think he'll go to the left side. Big strokes, maybe with speed.
I think he has enough angle so he can split the balls now just a little bit.
He's going to the blue.
Interesting. I thought he was going to definitely try and split it a little bit now.
Yeah,
But
but
I
then
guess
it's difficult to judge how to get glance off the red to get to the black.
So he's going on this top red ball now, on the left. He's gonna go down for the black again.
Yeah, and he needs. He would like to have a nice angle to develop reds.
He's going.
Blue. Yeah, he's going
Blue
to
again.
the blue again.
Yeah, I think he wanted a different angle on that red ball. Not sure if that was maybe a bit too straight.
We'll get 43 on the board. Go forward, get close to the long rail. There is a window. I don't know if he has traveled far enough.
43.
He's shaking his head. I
Yeah,
don't think
little
he's very
nod.
happy.
Don't think it's there. If he sees part of that red ball, he could use it to play safe.
Oh, he went for it.
Extremely difficult. Do you, by the way, we spoke a bit, do you, by the way, stick to your pool technique if you play snooker? Or does it invite you to adapt a little bit?
I do stick to it. I wouldn't say 100%. I think my stroke gets maybe a little shorter, and I'm not pausing in the back, but I'm definitely having a slower stroke
Transition,
back.
yeah.
So, because you have to be more precise, and I think, and since I know that, I adapted a little bit. But I'm not standing like a snooker player. I'm not changing that. So.
And you play with a pool cue, I think.
I've actually done both, to be
Yeah.
honest. I've tried it with a snooker cube, but then again, I know I have to play with it more often. To have to get
Yes,
used to that.
but I promise you, if you allow yourself to get used to a snooker cube, it's going to get easier.
That's what
You're
they've been
not going to
telling me
be
too.
able to play power shots, but you're going to be much, much more consistent. Balls will go in easier. And I like the sound of a snooker cue. It's like, tack.
Yeah, people have been telling me this too, yeah, about changing to a snooker cube. But then again, I'm not playing that often, so just more for practice purposes.
Here's a nice mountain to climb. See Xu. I wanted to say that the position is there. I mean, the reds are developed. But he has more difficulty than Wilson in this match to control his cue ball.
It's definitely a big chance now for Wilson. I went a little bit too long here, but should be okay.
He's playing to the corner.
Yep. Well, cue ball is now in the center of the table. That would be a huge problem for me, for my body.
Oh,
height.
with
I'm not so sure if I could reach that now.
oh no, but they have this thing they call the rest,
Okay.
which
Yeah,
will
the-
help you to get to the ball.
I know, but it's just, it would be already difficult to make that shot without it, and then to
Oh, yeah.
actually use that on the snooker table would be very difficult for me. Just don't like the rest. You know, because in pool you're now used to the extensions.
Oh yeah.
You don't play much with the rest
Yeah.
anymore. So, I would like to avoid that as much as possible.
07.
Good cue ball. $67 on the table, plenty for Xu. But it needs to start and click for the young Chinese player. The red above the pink allows Wilson to get to the short rail, stay low or go all the way up. Even if Xu can get to the red on the left, still a difficult red in the bulk area. So when is Team Europe playing again? Tonight?
We're playing at 5:30 p.m. against Asia.
Asia, okay, that's a nice match. You're playing Ga Yong Kim.
Yes, I'm playing Ga Young.
Do you have any idea how you two stand?
Oh, no idea, to be honest.
Just-
To be honest, I would have to check.
Okay, then it's probably
Everything I say now
nothing
would-
crazy.
could be a lie.
Could- yeah, well,
Let's start at 0-0 again. No, it's just, but we're, I mean, we're playing all the same tournaments, so we know each other very well, and so we're, I don't want to say best friends off the pool table, but we get along and we're friends, but of course, as soon as we are on the pool table, the fight is on. So.
if, listen, you're playing a race to 4, so you can hardly say anything about that, but if you were to play a race to 40, what would your advantage over her be, and her advantage over you?
Well, I would say Ga Young is definitely like a rhythm player. If she gets into gear, she's hard to stop. So I would say then my advantage would be the safety game and the kicking. I've been working a lot on the safety game actually with my brother, because he's very good at that.
He's one of the best,
Yeah, absolutely. So I have, the big luck that he is with me at the in the academy. So definitely been working a lot on that. Because when it comes to, I mean, I can run out just as much as her, but she's really a tough rhythm player. And when she gets into gear and stuff, it's like Joshua.
Yeah,
When
aggressive. Yeah.
I mean, you need to find a way to stop that flow then.
Yeah.
So
And would you then also opt for more like tactical plays? Like when you're playing push-out, are you then...
Playing her or in general?
Playing push-outs for safeties?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, when you play players like that where, I mean, everything can happen, but really, you know, the top ones where you know they can just run out and just never let you to the table, you have to think of the tactical moves and strategy. I mean, I'm more of a run-out person myself. I'm not like the biggest safety expert. But I know there's so much more to the game, and I've learned so much when I just watching the men's game, the Albin. And there's still so much more possibilities in the women's game when it comes to safeties and kicking and stuff like that. I think we're not close to the top man at all when it comes to the defensive game.
Definitely.
So I see a lot of potential there.
Yeah, sometimes it won't feel like practicing if you practice on that because it's not a grind. But you need to squeeze the information in.
But that's one of the things when you look at good players. I mean, in the top, almost everybody can run out, you know. But when it comes to defense, that's where you can see the differences.
The difference, yes, definitely.
And if you can switch back and forth between the offensive game and defense game, I mean, that's, I guess, the big skills then.
Yeah, that's the next trick. Squeeze someone for 10 minutes and then come with the shot.
Exactly. It's looking pretty good here for Wilson.
Yeah, it's done and dusted this match. And
yep. He's ahead many points.
Chua. I think Filler Chua was the closest match in this encounter. And, you know, Chua had a shot on 4-4, but it wasn't easy. Was that combination?
All right, that's... Shake hands there.
Yeah, frame 4 goes to Wilson. He wins his match, as did Caudron, 30-12. Blitzing his opponent from Vietnam, and Filler 1-5-4 against Chua. So 3-0 for Team Europe. Thanks, Jess Menuchen,
thank you.
multi-world champion. You have a CV from here until Kärnten in Austria. And good luck in the tournament.
Thank you.
Maybe I'll see you back in the booth.
Yeah, thank you so much, and thank you for listening, guys.